Well, my next guest is someone who, when she disagrees with me, has no problem telling me that I'm wrong. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch is back on. She's an immigration attorney, which is why I respect her opinion and want to talk to her about this new Senate bill that just passed. And when they say Senate bill, I don't know, does that mean it's officially law yet? But the Laken-Riley Act, what do we need to know about that? How does that change the lay of the land for immigrants, both legal and illegal? Kate, welcome back. All right, so what do we need to know about the Laken-Riley Act? What does this change?
Well, as I understand, it's a proposed bill right now, and the way that it would function is that it would immediately require undocumented immigrants who are charged with any type of theft offense, to include, shoplifting and petty larceny, to be taken into detention and not allowed to be released.
What's the law? What's the law currently?
It's different in different jurisdictions, and it's based on prosecutorial enforcement priorities. So, for example, if someone is a priority and they have a crime that's in a list of violent crimes, or they're suspected of connections to gang activities, et cetera, then they are taken in. And if they're not, then they're allowed to be released. And, their criminal sentence or their criminal consequences are separate from immigration consequences.
Is it constitutional for the federal government to sort of supersede state law like that? Even though I agree with the aim of the bill, I'm not sure if I like the procedure.
Well, what this act does, as I understand it, is it would guide immigration detention questions. So if someone is an immigrant and they're charged with a crime, then immigration is required to keep them in custody. So it's not, state law oversees state crimes, of course, and federal law oversees immigration detention questions. So I don't actually see a constitutional issue here. I do think that it is the wrong focus. I mean, based on some of the conversations you and I have had in the past, I think that, of course, violence against women and girls ought to be a focus of law enforcement. We should not tolerate it. And if we look, if we have distractions like this where we say, okay, now every single person who is caught, shoplifting and who is an immigrant goes into detention, that doesn't actually solve the problem of violence against women and girls. It's a distraction. And so I would ask Congress and law enforcement to focus on what matters, and I don't think that this solves the problem at hand.
What about this new power it gives the states to sue the Department of Homeland Security if they don't like the way that immigration law is being enforced?
Oh, that's an interesting question, and I don't know the constitutionality around that or what this, the current level is. I don't think that Congress could pass a law saying, changing when states can sue the federal government. To me, that would be controlled by the Constitution and ultimately handled by the judicial branch. Confusion about that would be handled by the judicial branch. But that's something I'd have to look into to sort of comment on more, further.
All right. So if this does clear both the House and the Senate, is this something Joe Biden would even sign? He only has like 6 days left.
Yeah. A law going through Congress would take longer than Biden has left in office. So presumably this would go before Trump. And obviously it's probably something he would sign.
All right. Anything else about this bill that you're keeping an eye on you think we'd be interested in?
No, like I said, I think that this is a distraction. We've talked about this before, that, immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than native-born U.S. citizens. And so if we really want to focus on, the safety of women and children, a law like this is not actually going to hit at the problem. And so I wish that Congress would focus on other things, but, I wouldn't be surprised if this one made it all the way through, actually.
All right, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, how do they find your work outside of WBAP?
Like the president, Goldfinch like the bird.
Lincoln-Goldfinch Law. Thank you very much.